Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you here. Yep, we'll start in a few minutes. And I will invite our today guest for my session. Yep. Hi, Abhishek. Yeah, can you unmute yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Cool. Thank you for the session. Yep, and we're really glad to see you here.
Thank you for inviting me. Pretty excited to be on it.
Cool. Yeah. So I think we can start it. And as for a start, please say for our community and for guys who are viewing us and who will view our video on YouTube and other guys, some word about yourself, about your career as a product manager. Yeah.
Okay. Hi, everyone. So my name is Abhishek Ghosh. I'm product manager at OYO right now. OYO is a hotel like Uber for hotels, right? That's the business model people usually associated with. So at Uber, you get on-demand cabs, right? With OYO, you get on-demand hotels, standardized, customized experiences. Our business is spread across 20 countries right now, and I am responsible for looking after product aspects for Brazil and Mexico. These are our new launch geographies in this year, right? So
Cool.
a little about me, I come from an engineering background. I did my mechanical engineering, bachelor's in mechanical engineering, and then I went into a core, simulation R&D kind of job, where I used to work for defense contractors, and we used to design missile systems, landing gears, fuel tanks, and stuff like that. So it was more of a simulation, hardcore research, prototyping, that kind of job. And 2 years there, after 2 years working there, I thought, hey, let's explore the business side. I then enrolled into an MBA program at IIM Bangalore. And immediately after, passing out from the program, OYO came to the campus, and it was exciting. It was just starting out. SoftBank invested a lot of money, and they had big expansion plans. And a lot of us folks joined as fresh product managers in OYO. Right? Before this, I didn't had any software management experience or software engineering experience. Neither did I had any product experience, right? So this was my first stint into product management. I had heard about all these people, right? Sundar Pichai and all those guys doing amazing jobs. A product manager will take you to a CEO position and stuff like that, right? So that kind of mindset inspired to explore this area. It's fairly new in India, and is still evolving. I would say it's not so defined as I hear from other speakers, right? It's very defined in the other geographies, and people are expecting what to do. They have a roadmap. They have a lot of mentors to learn from. I would say in India, it's still in a very maturing state. A lot of startups are coming up and hiring first-time product managers, and a lot of things get figured out on the way. So yeah, this has been like a 1.5-year journey for me at OYO, and that's my introduction, I would say.
Cool, nice. So you make some shift from engineering to product management.
Yeah, that too is not like computer science and engineering, right? It was hardcore mechanical engineering.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
some
you used to like simulate like crash of cars and stuff like that. And
yes,
from that,
so it's more about like mathematical and analytical than programming part.
Yes, absolutely.
Cool. So let's check with you some questions from our audience, and they shared some questions. I will share a screen with these questions, and we'll try to answer to our audience about their questions. Okay, let's start with the first one. It's about some mistakes of product manager. So maybe you see some mistakes, maybe you made some mistakes, and maybe you can suggest or recommend some things that product manager should not to do as a product manager.
I mean, yeah, the question is very interesting. it's hard to not make mistakes as a product manager, actually.
Absolutely, yep.
So every day you are experimenting stuff. You don't know if it will work or not, and you have to be confident that it will work, right? Otherwise, people are not going to believe it will work. So it's ridden with mistakes. On the path of making mistakes, you keep on learning, iterating, and getting better. So I would say make mistakes as a product manager. If you're not making any mistakes as a product manager, then it's not learning enough, right? So things
nice recommendation. Yep.
But okay, on a serious note, if I were to say things which I could have done differently in my journey, one thing I would say is this is very simple. I think everyone knows is getting to know the customer. There are a lot of requests that come through the business team, or the metrics are not moving, or we have to make this a solution, right? That's how you hear about a problem, but you don't know what actually is going on in the mind of the customer. A lot of times there's that disconnect. So whenever someone comes with a problem, do not take it at face value. Go to the customer, ask him, hey, is this a problem you are facing? Is this will this solve your problem? Is this solution going to solve your problem? That's the absolute must. If you don't do that early analysis, I have found on many occasions when we are ready to ship that, it's not working. Why it's not working? Because the customer never asked for it. And then all your business stakeholders are going to be like, hey, but we know, and then, that's as a product manager, it's your responsibility that the solution works. So that's one mistake you should avoid. Talk to the customer. Do not talk to the customer ever.
Nice. Yeah.
Another point I would say is, setting expectations right. That's something which came from me, because at least in a high startup environment, right, where things are changing fast and you are shipping a lot of products, the expectations from business many times that you will ship a very finished product in the first iteration. Version 1 will be the best, the good product, and that doesn't happen. And early on, I felt that we could do it, right? We could ship a very good product very fast. That doesn't happen. So always try to keep a buffer. Do not overpromise. And it ends up tarnishing that relationship with your business folks. So always under promise and over deliver. I think that's the mantra. Do not set expectations right in terms of what's realistic. Let people not assume that just because they have given you a solution, you have written a PRD, it's going to work, right? So that setting that expectation, building that empathy, I think do that.
I think it's a really important part of product manager's job, to working with business expectations also, not only with customers but also with like your boss, with business guys.
Yeah, many occasions what will happen once it's shipped, things will be like it's not what they expected, and it's your job to build that understanding, empathy, and set those expectations right. So that's second mistake you should avoid. I made those mistakes, so yeah, don't do that. And next up I would say is should not do as a product manager.
Maybe it's enough for a start for guys' suggestions. Yeah.
But make mistakes. Do not make mistakes.
Nice. Let's check next question. It's about some tools that maybe you use in your team or other product managers use. Can you maybe suggest some of your favorite tools? Yeah.
Okay. So in my role, it's as we are working with new country requirements, launching a new country. So it's a lot of a startup work actually, because you don't know what the problem is gonna look like. You don't know which team are you gonna work with. So we use very fundamental tools. It's the Google Suite. That's the absolute love for us. Every document is collaboratively shared among all the stakeholders. So Google Docs is something we use very extensively. I use extensively to build in that collaboration. For
So
design,
it's a spreadsheet and like Word documents also. Yeah.
yeah. So the whole Google suite, make it as collaborative as possible. Second tool I love is the WhatsApp. If you are moving fast, sometimes you need to get very fast communication, and in a cross-functional team, it's useful if you build a WhatsApp group and use it for faster communication, right? Some people
Yeah.
prefer Slack, but that's WhatsApp is a tool that I have been using.
So WhatsApp it's more faster to
More faster, and yeah. Third tool which people have been using is Figma for designing. Figma is so easy to share, right? It's on the cloud, and the designers can easily share the work. You can show it to everyone, share it to a lot of folks. For other similar tools like Zeppelin and InVision, it takes an account to set up and stuff like that. Figma just takes care of it. So collaboration is really fast. So that's another tool we use. Google Forms, very primitive, but I use it.
But working, yeah.
To get feedback, fast feedback through Google Forms. Of course, you can use a better, more good-looking ones, but this is one core tool which comes in handy. Yeah, I think these four are the core tools I would say which
cool.
I use.
And with developers team, do you use Jira or something else? Or
Yeah. Jira is of course is there, right? So yeah, if you want to manage your backlog, if you manage your queue, if you want to assign stuff to the developers, create a Kanban sheet. So that's Jira of course is the powerhouse, right? Where you can manage the whole project flow and collaborate. So yeah, of course, 50, I would say Jira. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for this sharings. So let's check next question. It's about some cross-functional politics and product manager role. So can you share maybe some your experience and how do you work with this? Because it's really hard to work in some cross-functional teams.
Yeah. I've seen that happening, and I can really feel the asker because I've also faced this problem. I created a short note, so I will just let that out for this question. So I would say, if the cross-functional for a cross-functional project, a very important thing is that the problem vision, the problem statement, and the solution scope. These three things should be very clear for everyone in the party. If this is something which people don't agree on, you are gonna have fights. You're gonna have all these discussions at the later stages. So very important to clarify the problem statement, the project scope, and the vision of what we are trying to build. Right? That's like the core around which you can bring everyone together. So if your core is strong, you can align everyone. But if your core is not strong and it does not resonate with everyone, if a team member thinks that, hey, this problem is not important, or hey, if I solve that problem, that's not going to affect me, right? So then it's very difficult to bring in people. So the core problem should be a problem for everyone.
Some shared vision. Yeah,
share the vision, and you have to sell it to everyone, because it should have something for everyone. If someone feels left out, they will of course have problems like, why are we spending time solving this? It's not gonna help anything. So that's step one. Build a strong core of the problem vision so that you can bring everyone together. Second thing I would say is, when you're starting out, just as you define the scope of the product solution, get in the senior leadership. Like, you should have their blessings on day one. Get the senior leadership blessing on day one, because much of the discussions and finer details can be done later. But if the senior leadership is not aligned on a way a particular problem is going to be solved, you're leaving it open to tear apart at a later point. Right? So that's get the senior technology, product, and business alignment on day one, and then you can work with all the team to align on the third other aspects. Another thing which helps is, once the work has been defined, every leader is aligned, timelines have been set, there will be a core team of people from each, let's say there are 10 teams and they have like 2 developers working each for your combined cross-functional project. This core team needs to talk with each other. They cannot be working in silos, right? That's something which I have seen happening. And the good way to fix that is get those guys in a room early on, sell that problem again to these guys. Because it's good that the managers know it, the senior managers know it, but ultimately these are the guys who are gonna write the code. They are gonna think about the problem. If they don't have a shared vision and they don't empathize with what the other guy is doing in other team, they're not gonna talk, and problems are gonna take longer than expected. Something won't move. Many times I've seen that even if there's a bigger problem, developers can just talk with someone and sort it out. Don't have to even think about it. Otherwise, you spend time chasing it, figuring out. So people are smart. Empower them, bring them together, and that's another way to smoothly glide through the journey. But of course, at the end of the day, you will find at least someone who will not be happy. So take note of that. Highlight what are the expectations. Set scope. Right, setting scope helps. Like define, like, hey, maybe you cannot do all of it. Let's do like 80%. Like let's remove the 20%. So negotiate. That's always there. Like negotiate for what can be done with the given time. Yeah, that's basic. To make it work.
So it's really a big amount of work about negotiation, about alignment of all of business owners.
Yeah, I would say spend like 20% of the time on this, because this is the core. And if this is like, it's the when there's a snow on a mountain and you're just throwing a stone. If the stone is thrown right, it will collect all the snow, right, and it will keep on rolling. If you don't throw it right, it's not. It can lead to a lot of places and not really get that traction. So more effort you put at the start, that's where you're defining everything. The better the end result's gonna be.
Right. Yeah. Cool. And we have some questions in our Q&A in real time. I can read some of them. So, well, one question is about what are biggest problems any product manager face after coming from any other background than marketing? So yeah, maybe you can answer on your own experience. Yep. What problems you faced after moving from engineering to product management? Yep.
Okay.
First your months or something like this. Yep.
Yeah. So I was fortunate to do my MBA, right? And then I had got a good business understanding. And we also had a software product management course. So I understood Scrum and basic principles. That helps. But because you have never seen, like if you don't have a mentor I didn't have a mentor, like to know, to talk like how it works or what actually happens. I just jumped into it. And on day zero, what happens is, even if my job description is written somewhere, I am still not able to connect on the expectation and what the job description are. Sometimes, like a lot of times, it feels I'm lost. What's happening? It looks like you're doing a lot of stuff, but nothing's happening. So that's the problem I face. Many people who are coming from a different background, like non-marketing or non-sales, especially, they are gonna face, because you will be like, hey, let me do my work, but nothing's happening, right? What am I missing? What's not working out? So early on, I faced a lot of challenge myself to understand what really is the role is all about. Because different people will be coming in saying, hey, do this, do that, do that, do that. You manage your expectations, but the product at the end of the day, maybe it doesn't work or it works. You don't know, right? So you don't have a lot of authority, but you have all the responsibility. So that's the hanging around you. And yes, so spend time, I would say, talking to some senior leaders if you can find, of what the expectations are. Find a mentor. I didn't had a mentorship initially. Then I found some mentors, but that period was really like I was confused, like what to do. Am I right? Are these the way things are supposed to work? So understanding the role of product manager in your company, because from company to company it will differ. It's not the same. Product manager in Facebook is not the same as product manager in Uber or let's say another company like Salesforce, right? They're doing different stuff. So understanding what a product manager does in your company early on. Talk with people, find a mentor, figure it out. Of course, it takes some time, but as soon as you get that right, you can be more at peace with yourself and direct your energies. So I would say that's the biggest thing you should focus for the first 3-4 months.
Cool. Yep. Let's check our next live question. I will write it. It's some question. I have lots of experience as a product manager, like 10 years, and want to join OYO. Now my current domain is telecom, and when OYO asks if I have internet product management experience, the answer is no. So please advise how to crack interview in like OYO without pre-relevant experience.
So OYO is on a hiring spree. I can't say it for what the hiring team is thinking, but I can say that they are actively looking for people out there. If you have experience, do apply. There is some criteria for selection, but for I would say, it's pretty open to people who don't have any specific experience, because here it's a more startup centered work. There are different roles. So yeah, I would say just apply. There's no specific answer to that. It's general product management questions. So the good thing is that all the interview questions in all the companies are almost the same. They follow a similar standard. And this is something which is available on books. You can practice on Stellar Peers, right? That's a good platform where you can give interviews with like-minded people and hone your abilities. Yeah, it's a standard format of interview. So there's nothing, whatever work you have done is done. You cannot change it, but there's a standard format of interview. Just practice for it. I think there's no magic bullet here. I don't think so.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, let's check our next questions from our community. So the next one is about some skill set and something about launching in new countries. So we have some questions about this. So do you know something maybe? How to make these decisions, and is it a product manager involved somehow in these decisions or something like this?
So I cannot share a lot of details on this one.
Yeah, sure.
Because company policy. I hope you understand.
Yeah.
Skill set required is more of growth and startup environment PM. Here entrepreneurship is focused on a lot. So you will find a lot of opportunities where you have to build the task around you. There will be no one actively telling you to do something, right, all the time. So it has to be a lot of self-driven, and that's the, I think, something special about OYO. Other than that, it's the general skill sets which are needed. That's how you are evaluated, right? I'm starting out, so I cannot really say what's really looked at. I just have 1.5 years of experience, so can't really answer a lot on that one. In terms of deciding a new country, these are very basic B school question, right? How do you decide which country you're going to launch it? You do a competitive analysis, then you do a market analysis, potential analysis, then you secure your funding, and then you enter a market, you look for a leadership team, and you hire them. That's how you start, right? So it's pretty like standard practice. I cannot go into details here, and no, I cannot share the entire official source.
Yeah, I understand. So let's check our next questions. It's also about new countries. So we have checked this one question. Like some opportunities, maybe not about only OYO rooms. Maybe so. What's opportunities to grow personally or professionally as a product manager in like 3-5 years?
Right. So I would say OYO is a fairly mature new company, right? It's been pretty new, and these roles are evolving slowly and slowly. I'm seeing it evolve a lot over the last 1.5 years. So
Cool.
it's still the whole thing is evolving, how things will be structured and how it will be visioned. There are, of course, different departments where you can work on specific products, right? That's one way to grow the ladder, right? But yeah, that's the answer I think I can give on this one. This looks like a question for more for the HR department.
Yeah. Okay. Let's check one live question. Some short question. Can you give 2 examples of that data-driven product management? Yeah, maybe from your experience or from some cases that you know. Yeah. What is, on your point, data-driven product management?
Okay. You know, this is a specific example where let's say we have we have a lot of consumers, right? And then your product is in a country where there's dual languages spoken, right? Let's say, for example. And then how do you decide whether you should start your consumer or your product in multiple languages? Like at what point you decide that whether you should make that switch to dual language mode? So things which help evaluate that is to do a sort of an experiment, building complete solution where you have let's say your app in English and Russian, right? You have 2 versions. That takes a lot of time, especially for developed apps. So you can sort of do an MVP with the most critical elements in Russian, right? And you can do an A/B with that, and you can find out from the data that what kind of lift you are getting for your customers. Are you getting new users who would like to use the Russian version of the app? And that's the data you can then extrapolate to make an impact for this kind of a full-fledged solution, right? So here data helped you do an experiment and then collect the potential impact you have. And based upon that, you can go back to the drawing board, check out with the resources and say, hey guys, if we do this, we are going to earn this much amount for the next year because of these many more people are going to come, they're going to convert, right? And we are going to spend this much effort on this. So let's do it. So that's one case where data can help you. Most of the times I have seen experiments being the ones, giving the data for iterations. So it's a lot of experimentations, I would say. Once you have a hypothesis, do an A/B experiment. The experiment gives you whether it's good or not, then you go with it, right? In rare instances, have I seen like data floating around and people just looked at it and then decided, hey, let's do that. I haven't seen that happening a lot, but of course, it can happen if someone has a lot of understanding of how the data is, how the market is. They can look at the data directly and say, hey, this number doesn't look good. It can improve if we do this, right? So that there are two, like look at existing data, see gaps and get that new feature, or propose a hypothesis, do an experiment, validate, right? So these are 2 areas I would say we can look at. There's no specific example I can give, on this one.
Cool. Yeah. So thank you for the sharing. And we also have some question about A/B tests. So what is the framework or some tool you're using to bringing idea to scale, which is already have test on a small percentage existing user to 100%? Do you have some special tool for A/B testing? And can you give maybe some recommendations or advices how to avoid some pitfalls on this process of A/B testing?
So the bad thing about this question is me, because I have been working on new features and new rollouts. So lot less iterative work. On very few occasions have I worked on something which required experiments, because we are doing it day 0. Like there's no need to experiment. Nothing is there, right? Just launch it. So, but what I've seen from my colleagues, I can state that there is, we have a tool which is used for this A/B experimentation, and it's pretty standard tool. Like as a science, right? A/B experiments are very clearly defined. Mathematically, it's random splitting of users, and then you get the numbers. then you see the differences. The more amount of numbers you have, the more confident you are that things are right. The less you have, the less confident you are. It could be random. It's not really statistically relevant,
Yeah.
right? So that's the basic principle. Use any tool you want. The numbers are not going to change. They are going to be the same. The more data you have, the faster you can do your experiments. That's the fundamental approach there. So for your products which have a large scale, which are seeing a lot of daily users, that's where you can explore this idea of A/B experimentation. If you have users like not even more than 10,000, right? Users.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's gonna take like 3 months, 4 months for your results to come back, right? Better to use a judgment than wait for 3 months to.
Yeah.
It depends on the stage of the company or the product, which part they're looking at. So that's the answer I can give on this one.
Okay, and also we have two questions in the same area. So the first question is from some marketing guy, and second question is from person who want to understand do they need to know marketing as a product manager. So first my first question. I have MBA background and working as a product consultant for market leader SaaS product. Is having technical experience a mandatory to become product manager? It's like about engineering background. And second one is how much knowledge a product manager should have about digital marketing? Do one should do any certification or course? Yeah, what do you think about like marketing background and engineering background for a product manager?
I would say, this role is so varied and there are so many companies that there are room for everyone. There's a room for everyone. And there is always a place where your skills will be valued, right? If you have technical skills, there are technical product manager jobs, right? Who look more into the services. So think of product managers is always like, hey, who's building that app? Who's building that website? But behind the scenes, there are people who are making services which are used by all these apps, the front-end apps. And that's what you see on the shiny surface, right? So all the shine and glitter is on the app, but behind the scenes, they are being served by these guys who are working as a platform product managers or technical product managers, right? So that also requires a lot of skill, technical understanding. So with that experience, technical experience, it's more suitable for you to go into that sort of a role. It will be more valuable to the company, and you will also enjoy it because you have this technical background that you want to like put into effect, right, in your role. So there is room for you there. And for the other guys, like the marketing guys, there are marketing product manager roles, right? There are especially roles which there are growth product managers, there are promotion product managers. So these guys are looking for getting more customers, getting more users, increasing retention. It's very closely tied to the marketing metrics. They work very closely with the marketing departments, creating,
some tools, some technologies for marketing guys.
Technologies, features, so that customers come back, customers stay more, customers excited, right? So that's your sweet spot, and you can add more value there because you will connect more easily with those guys. You already know the assumptions, so you can fit in there. So I would say both of you, there's room for you. This is here and this is here. So room for everyone.
Yeah, so like product manager, it's not the same position inside one company. Yeah. So for example, in our company, in Skyeng, it's like 60 plus product managers, and like 15 of them are about technical product managers, are about platform, are about technologies and engineering, and 20 plus is about product marketing managers, guys. So yeah, it's different positions, it different skill set, but like one name as a product manager.
Right.
Okay, let's check. We have like 3 more questions here. So let's check them. Marketing, some considerations for checking marketing when launching new product for a new startup, maybe.
What are the top considerations for marketing when launching a new product for a new startup?
Yeah, I think it's something like some checklist for launching a new product. Yeah, maybe talking with potential customers or making some small landing page or something like this, like fake landing page for your traffic. Yeah, something maybe this one.
Okay. Okay. So you have a new startup and you have a new product, right? So that's given. Now the marketing team has been brought in and asked, hey guys, launch this product in this market, right? And
Yeah.
what does the marketing guy do, right? He's there, the product is ready, and he has to show the sales, right?
Yes.
So what I've seen them doing is, build the right team, hire the right people. When you are starting out for a new product, you want to bring in expertise from the market who understand that or similar product and how it sells. If you want to build that expertise, it's gonna take a lot of time. So hire the right people for the marketing team. That's one, right? When people join in, they are gonna do a lot of surveys. They are gonna go to the customer and ask, hey, will you buy this, will you buy that, right? So that a customer feedback they will do, showing the existing product. Maybe they have some feedback for the product team, right? That's the second step they do. Third step is a very standard practice in marketing, which is segmentation, targeting, and positioning, right? It's called STP, segmentation, targeting, and positioning. So find your right segment in the market, right? Establish your target criteria, how you are going to target that segment, what's so special about your product, how you can pitch it to your target segment so that it works, right? And then position it, how you can communicate to the user that, hey, this is the thing you want to buy, right? So basic marketing, these three tools they use. They have been using various technical tools for this. They can use CRM softwares for it, to make it work. And that's how, the first initial plans are made and they launch. That's how I've seen people launching it. Of course, having said that, it doesn't work for very innovative products, because for established products, you have a key segments, you have all this data to get that understanding. For new products, I would say, make a best guess, experiment, iterate, make another best guess, experiment, iterate, learn on the way. There is no, like a clear answer on this one, unless we build a super smart AI, which does the job for us. It has to be experiments and continuous improvement.
Okay, nice. Yeah. Let's check the last question from our audience. So it's we on our MA sessions we I think always have this question about biggest failure.
Yeah, I think people took the first question seriously, right?
Yeah, because sure, every product manager have some failures, because it's like part of product manager's job, I think.
Yeah. Learning product management, even I'm trying to figure it out. So Mike, you want to share on this one? What's the best way of learning product management?
I think it's about practice. So you should try some maybe side project or get some small project inside your company. I think it's the best way. So it's more about practice and less about theory, I think.
So find more things to do and just get your hands dirty, right?
Yep, really.
Okay, I think that's the best answer to this one. What have your biggest product failure? All right. I guess, early on when I first started out, like first 6 months, I would say, getting the collaboration right. I struggled a lot with that. Like there are people who are experts, right? The developers are experts, right? They are passionate about what they do. Like they enjoy writing code. They want to do new cool stuff. They understand the user problem as well. So they are pretty smart guys. And the designers, they are very good at understanding what the user experience is going to look like. They know what the user is thinking. How should we design the flow, right? So early on, when I joined in, I felt like, hey, my role is manager, right? So I need to manage these guys, right? It's not. You don't have to do anything. These are pretty smart guys. They can take care of the things that have been assigned to you. And once you bring that problem to them, and you just listen, it's gonna be solved. You don't have to do anything. Right? So giving that space to everyone, right? For I find it like they get into everything. Like, hey, this has to be perfect, and hey, do this way, not that way. So that really not only hampers, but it is bad for the relations that you're building with the team. And at the end of the day, it's not good quality work. Also, it's not good quality work if you do a lot of micromanagement. If the kind of ideas that these guys bring, if you let them give the problem statement, share the vision, and then they really solve it better than anyone else can. Like I cannot do a designer's job. I cannot do a developer's job, right? These guys are experts in that field. So making sure that they are able to do their best, and you are just there. You maybe share the vision, get out of their way, right? Get out of the way of them doing the good work.
Cool.
Right? Yeah. So that's something I think I struggled a lot initially, and then this knowledge came in. Hey, so this role is about enable everyone, get out of the way, and let it say. So that's one learning I would say I got very early on.
Cool. Yeah, it's a great sharing. Yeah. So usually I work in also. I said, guys, you're professionals in your areas, so do the best, and please only say to me how I can help you. So it's like this one. I'm professional in management. You're professional in design or in engineering. So yeah, please do the best. Yeah, and yeah, my role is some hiring of you with CTO, with other guys, and your role be professionals. And I do not want to do some micromanagement on you because it's
yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's important sharing, and once I also understand this, and it really helps.
I bet it does.
Yeah. So for example, I remember that I said for my team, guys who want to do some customer development job, and a lot of hands, a lot of guys, and I said, wow, cool. So you can start to do this customer development if you want. And some, for example, tester, QA managers want to do this, and it's really cool. If they want to get some more opportunities, it's nice for a team. And yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so we check all of our questions. It was really nice to hear some your ideas, some your suggestions for our audience, and we checked a lot of live questions from our audience, and it was also pretty nice for this. Yeah.
Thanks, Mike, for inviting.
Yeah, and thanks you for your time, for your sharings. We also make some video for our YouTube channel to spread these ideas for all of our community, because some guys all over the world, it's like it's nighttime, for example, in Indonesia and in other countries, and I think they will also see this content, and maybe some add some sharings in the comments, or go to our next IMA sessions.
Yeah. It's nice, hearing about this. I think this is the first time this kind of format is being tried out. So all the best to you, and thanks for starting this. Right, it will be difficult, but it's pretty interesting, and I look forward to hear more and more sessions. Right.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you. See you. And have a good weekend. Bye bye.
You too, man. Bye bye.
Yeah.